har en mand. Jeg har det sgu meget godt. Tak. Er du klar? Fedt. Ja, det kan jeg godt forstå. Også hele jeres... Nej, præcis. Og nu går det hele bare i luften.
So, introducing our Arla Milk brand, which is a new vitamin supplemented milk and yogurt line that has additional health benefits that directly appeal to the millennial market. What's special about the Milk Plus brand is the packaging. So in addition to the health benefits you get from drinking this particular milk product, as you can see on the screen, a demonstration of the milk bottles that we'll be showing. This milk product...
Question, sorry.
Hi.
I like the analysis on the transparency and trust issue, but somehow we are jumping to some conclusions on packaging and cafes. Are you actually addressing the concern that millennials are having in terms of, is milk healthy?
So we believe that the primary reason that millennials don't believe that milk is healthy is that there's no direct communication channel between the dairy producers and the customer itself. So when we speak about the packaging reveals hidden messages as the customer is consuming the product, such as, by drinking this bottle of milk, you just made your hair 15% shinier, or you've just helped... or you've just helped Farmer Bob buy some shoes for his son and helping the economy. So by having all of these different added messages, the consumer is directly able to receive these from the company, and we believe that this targets and enhances the trust that they have in the brand. In addition to this, with biodegradable packaging and transparent designs, health benefits are also listed on the front of the bottles. So these will include things like vitamin A, D, omega-3, and added fiber. So how are we going to get customers banging on your doors? We are going to create a concept store that allows each customer to have an immersive experience by where they connect with their childhood memories of eating cookies and milk with their family, as well as a modern, classic design that plays on the importance of food transparency. Introducing Milk Bar, a unique concept store experience that from the moment this customer walks through on a grass-inspired floor, they sit down at transparent tables, chairs, and walls, and are met with different features in which the highlight of the concept store will be the transparency and the importance of transparency for food.
Using our competitive advantage to ensure trust and relevance of Arla brand for millennials. Firstly, we need to go to the decision-making while we were doing while cracking the case. So we have seen the major market trends in the world and the market of dairy industry. By evaluating compound annual growth rates and also the value of the market, we have seen that Europe and Asia Pacific stood out. Furthermore, we have seen by the breakdown of our revenue that Europe is the most significant market for us, led by the case task and the assignment that was presented by our very own Vice President. We have chose that market of our main priority should definitely be Europe. We have also analyzed the milk products and seen that one category is declining, and that is drinking milk. On another side, we have seen that milk alternatives are rising, and we thought at the moment, oh, we should go probably in that direction, but no. Alternative milk market is not an option for Arla, as its farmers' core business is producing raw milk. So that is how we came to the core essence of our both strategies today, and that is the consumer. We as Arla have identified 4 major trends for the consumer, and that is lack of trust to big brands, digital way of engagement, customer relation to food, and in the end, category leadership in new channels.
Today with Kyla, Joe and Sunday, and we are Even Consulting. You have come to us today with the question, how can Maersk leverage its leadership in reefer shipping to pioneer the global cold chain market in the next 5 years? To do this, to achieve its goals, it must overcome the threat of commoditization, address the pain points within the customer experience, and finally, build end-to-end capabilities in order to create a seamless cold chain solution. And we propose 2 strategies. Firstly, introducing a data analytics platform that connects the dots between different data sources to provide key insights into performance and optimizations for its customers. This will turn and signals the shift in Maersk from just being a pure-play transactional shipping company to become an integrated and value-adding solutions provider. Secondly, it needs to overcome the gaps within culture and capability. To do this, it must think outside of the box. It must build cold storage capabilities in origin countries. Alongside this, we propose an innovative storage sharing model that will allow underserviced customers within Maersk to access global trade. A combination of these strategies will allow 30,000 TEUs per facility, a 31% EBITDA margin, and 1.8 billion krona revenue.
Maersk is a leading global supplier of transport and logistics services.
What's your initial reaction? What do you think? Pretty excited. We almost guessed it. I mean, it's Danish biggest company. It's a very technical case though, so we're going to be spending a lot of time just trying to figure it out. Cold chain is a very complex value chain. Just figuring out what to understand where Maersk can fit in.
We believe, most importantly, that the solution that was presented is doable and scalable for a global company. So, with that, the winner this year's company is
Congratulations, you won the award for Business Center. How are you going to celebrate this?
I haven't even thought about it because I'm still in so much shock that I actually won. I'm really happy that my team did really well, so I think we're all going to go out, celebrate tonight, have a couple of drinks.
Today was quite unbelievable. I think it's a combination of so much work from the organizing committee, and to see just how great a success it was unbelievable. I mean, the teams in the finals were unbelievable. They did such good work on the case, and it was so complex, so it was good to see them really, get out there on the edge of it. I think, being done with all of this work now, it's almost surreal, and I'm hoping that we can celebrate tonight with
25. By doing so, you will not only be able to cater to any end-to-end cold supply chain and make sure that your customers get the product that fits them the best, but you'll position yourself to become the integrator of global logistics.
So now we've seen a destination play and an origin play, and you came with like a trade-focused play. So I think we've been all around now. Very nice, very great idea. So the one thing I thought about with this one was how have you thought about? So you're basically suggesting a partnership approach via a sourcing platform. What are your thoughts on actually having it as sustainable competitive advantage? Because I would just think that that approach would be relatively easy for competition to copy. Have you thought about that?
Yes, we definitely have, and it's a great point. What we'll bring in on that argument is that we see this as a winner-takes-all market. So taking into consideration that we are uniquely positioned, both in terms of reefer capacity and the pilot already, we argue that gaining customers and partners first and attaining critical mass will create the lock-in that is necessary to become and remain the integrator of global logistics. So yes, competitors absolutely can, but it's a winner-takes-all market, and we're unique in a unique position to get there first.
Agriculture and transport account for 24% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. If agriculture were a country, it would be the second largest emitter globally, ahead of India, the USA, and Russia. We believe that global opportunities must be taken advantage of by global leaders. And for this reason, we believe that Ramboll can take advantage of the global smart agriculture space by taking on its smart agriculture consulting services. Good morning, everyone. My name's Alice, and today I, alongside my teammates Ashani, Eliano, and Matthew, are excited to present to you how we believe Ramble can rise to the top as a leader in sustainable solutions. To begin, the underlying opportunity that we've identified today is how can Ramble prove its position as a sustainable solutions leader while at the same time increasing its profitability by 2025. To this end, the solution that we propose is to leverage existing competencies and to develop new competencies in a smart agriculture consulting space. This recommendation is really threefold. First, we want to identify the specific consulting services we would offer in smart agriculture. Second, we want to profile our customer and determine the viable business model to monetize this offering. And finally, we want to measure the long-term sustainable and financial impacts of our solution. In the long term, what we envision is that smart agriculture consulting exists across our 8 geographies and leverages the expertise from our 6 existing horizontals or markets. How did we arrive at smart agriculture as a solution? Well, what we determined is that we can leverage existing expertise with the solution while at the same time paving the way for innovative applications.
That's how many water bottles 48 contestants used in the past 32 hours when we were trying to solve this case. 30 million tons. That's how much waste the EU produced in 2015. But just think, how much could we reduce that number if we just had a bit more of a circular mentality and actually thought about reusing our materials? Hi, my name is Simone, this is Chloe, Charmaine, Jeremiah, and we are EVA Consulting. Today, the issues surrounding the industry include resource scarcity as well as consolidation within the consulting industry. As such, you asked us the question, how can Ramble prove its position within the sustainability solutions market and significantly increase its profitability by changing its business model and further commercialize sustainability? As such, today, we're so proud to introduce our strategy, Trash to Treasure, which involves a B2B online marketplace where companies can repurpose materials, and we use the data from this marketplace to add valuable insights into how companies can change their processes to become more sustainable. And the impact is incredible. A 10% uplift towards SDG revenue, a 37% increase in environment and health profit margins, as well as a 575 billion DKK NPV. Current industry trends surrounding the area, including increasing focus on the UN SDGs as sustainability moves up our agenda. If we analyze the existing capabilities of Rumble, we note that it has deep expertise within engineering as well as a very diverse client base. Consequently, in order to become a market leader within the sustainability place, Rumble should leverage its comparative advantages within these areas. When we were analysing what types of industries Rumble could make the most impact in, we analysed it across 4 key metrics.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the CBS Case Competition Invitational Final 2021. My name is Anna Lind. I work at DR as a TV host with the kids and the youth. But tonight, I'm your host and I'm so excited to be here. Copenhagen CBS Case Competition is a student-driven organization, and the Invitational Final is one of the most prestigious competitions in the world. And today it will be a digital and thrilling experience. And I know that all of you are tired of Zoom meetings and Zoom calls and Zoom classes, but I promise you that today will be nothing like your average Zoom meeting. The organizing committee has spent the past 10 months planning this, and it has been difficult for them. There's been a pandemic going on, but it's a challenge, and what you get from challenges, you learn something. So they've also told me that it has been an exciting challenge for them this time around. The Invitational Final has been part of CBS Case Competitions for 20 years. So this year, is also an anniversary. So congratulations to CBS and Invitational Final and everybody involved. CBS Case Competition is known for the phrase, creating lifetime experiences. And this afternoon, we will continue on that path. The past 32 hours have been hectic for the 3 teams. All 12 teams have done an amazing job coming up with solutions, and they have come up with solutions for the co-op case. And thank you so much to all the participating teams for embarking on this journey with us. However, this is a competition, so we must find a winner, and we will do that today. I'm so glad that you tuned in to this grand finale. And I know that you have your phone in your hand right now. I can see right through you. So remember to use your phone, go to your social media. I would say go to Instagram, go to CBS Case Competition's profile, and also make your own story where you say where you're watching from, and remember to tag CBS Case Competition so we can see where you are. That doesn't sound creepy. We will also have a Q&A later today, and you will be able to send questions through the CBS Case Competition's Instagram. So go to their story function and send your questions. Now I will present the program of today. First and foremost, the case developers of the organization committee of CBS Case Competition will set the scene of this year's final by presenting the case. Secondly, in order to get to know the case and the case company a little better, we will have Kren Østergaard Nielsen, the CEO of Coop, take the stage and talk more about in detail about the case and also the case company this year. Thirdly, I will explain the rules of today, and then I will introduce you to the fantastic jury of CBS Case Competition Invitational Finals 2021. And then we will give the spotlight to our fantastic finalists. And when all the presentations are done, the jury will go to the voting room. And in the meantime, while the jury is making tough and important decisions, we have a few activities ready for you guys, so stay tuned. Then we'll have a short break, and after the break, it is finally time to announce the individual who has been the best presenter this evening, and also, of course, the winning team of CBS Case Competition 2021. No time to waste, I'll stop talking in a minute. Let's hand the stage over to the case developers. These are the people that, in close collaboration with Coop, have developed this year's case. Please welcome Rikke, Therese, and Benjamin to the stage. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. We're the case developers of this year's CBS Case Competition. My name is Therese.
My name is Benjamin.
And I'm Rikke. CBS Case Competition Invitational is one of the most prestigious case competitions in the world, and it is therefore a unique opportunity to showcase the best parts of the Danish business world.
And being the first to introduce organic products in their stores, the first to test the actual quality of the products that they sell in these stores, the first to introduce a CO2 footprint calculator for your individual purchases, and by having one of the most acknowledged brands in Denmark, it's safe to say that this year's case company is a true frontrunner in driving a sustainable agenda.
If we take it back to the beginning, we started out in June with the goal of finding a case company that 1. Exemplified Danish business values, 2. Had an ambitious sustainability strategy, and 3. A company that would engage the case solvers as they would have had a personal experience with the industry.
In addition, this year's competition has been driven by the overall theme of leadership through crisis, as well as the 2 supporting themes of sustainability and digitalization. These are themes that, particularly within the last year, have moved from being global trends to strategic necessities of any business. And they are also themes that fit particularly well with the business model and values of this year's company.
And today we are therefore extremely proud, but also humbled to present Coop as the case company for the 20th anniversary of CBS Case Competition Invitational. And we truly believe that Coop represents the essence of Danish business values, but furthermore also sets the standard for what other businesses should aspire to become.
With more than 1,000 stores across the country, Coop is one of the most acknowledged and recognized retail brands across the country. In fact, 16% of the Danish workforce has once been employed at Coop.
Coop is Denmark's only customer-owned retailer of consumer goods, and it is therefore safe to say that they are closer to the consumer than any other business in Denmark. This fits very well with the overall ambition of Coop to be the company that focuses the most on the customer while creating a positive, significant difference for them.
Now, Coop has already been immensely successful in both engaging its customers, the communities, but also the society at large throughout its more than 150 years of existence. In fact, 1.9 million Danes are members and owners of Coop. And this means that Coop is owned by 1/3 of the entire Danish population.
If we take a broader look, the grocery retail industry is changing rapidly, and companies must continue to innovate to remain relevant for the customers. Denmark is characterized by an immense store density, and we have 3 times as many grocery stores in the country as we should have given our population size. In addition, digitization is changing the way we shop, and consumers are actually demanding more convenient and personalized experiences.
As a result, Coop has digitized even further in an attempt to create a seamless shopping experience. Since launching their digital journey 5 years ago, Coop has become a digital frontrunner within the industry. The Coop app has more than 1.9 million downloads, making it the 2nd largest membership program across the country.
And this grocery retail scene is now subject to a constant demand for even more sustainable, convenient and affordable offerings, and a demand that is particularly driven by this new, aware and eager young generation. And with this young consumer base constituting both the future customer, the future employee and possible owner of Coop, they have a defining voice in how the future of retail would look like. And given their increasing importance, it is therefore evident that any retail chain must ensure that they truly understand the essence and the needs of this customer base in order to stay ahead in a highly competitive market.
The challenge for the students was therefore to come up with new and innovative ways to engage with the young generation. This included finding ways to merge the online and offline channels and making sure that everyone is aware of Coop's ambitious sustainability strategy.
Ultimately, Coop asked the teams to come up with a solution that would ensure a 5% revenue growth over the next 5 years by 1. Engaging with the young generation, strengthening the omni-channel experience, and continuing to drive the sustainability agenda in the industry. And this is by no means an easy task when you think about how complex and how mature the grocery retail industry is.
But nevertheless, 12 teams from some of the best universities around Europe have been taking on exactly this challenge for the last now 32 hours. It has been evident that these are all, truly experienced case talents, but in groups of 4, they have now brought forward both bold, innovative, but also yet sound solutions to the table today.
Given this year's circumstances, we unfortunately were not able to host a physical competitions, and the team had also been forced to solve the case virtually. Throughout the case-solving process, the teams have been able to have a feedback session of 10 minutes with representatives from Coop, as well as our consulting partner, Bain, that provided valuable tips and insights for the teams to continue their case-solving.
Solutions have both challenged the way Coop does business, created new engagement initiatives, highlighted the values of Coop, and built upon existing digital channels to fully connect with the young consumer. We, as case developers, have been fortunate enough to watch all the teams present earlier today during the preliminary round, which is why we can say with 100% certainty that you're in for an eventful afternoon.
And then after now a difficult judging decision in the preliminary rounds, we are now standing here in the final with the top 3 teams ready to compete. And we cannot wait to see how they will challenge and rethink how Coop can now connect with this new young generation.
We would like to show our gratitude towards Coop, as they have showed a significant effort in the past 6 months of developing this case. This has been a great learning experience for us as case solvers, case developers, and we're also certain that it's a great learning experience to solve the case for the teams that have done so.
To end this presentation, we would therefore like to say thank you to Coop and to all the teams who have solved the case. We wish the 3 finalist teams the best of luck and are certain that the jury is in for a difficult decision. Now, without further ado, we would like to show you once again what the teams have been working on for the last 32 hours. Please enjoy the following case launch video provided by Coop. Thank you.
Let's not wait for the future to happen. Let's create it like we've always done.
Coop is one of Denmark's largest grocery retail chains, with more than 1,000 stores all over the country. But we are more than the sum of our stores. We are part of Denmark. As Denmark's first cooperative owned by our 1.9 million members, we are part of the soul and soil of Denmark. We take on our responsibility to engage with our customers, to inspire and influence them, and lead them in the right direction in a sustainable way. Coop was founded in 1866 to fight for better foods at prices everyone could afford. Today, Coop consists of 6 grocery retail chains, as well as the online platforms Coop Food and Coop Shopping. Working as a unified organization in direct dialogue with our members, we can influence, inspire, and commit to sustainable innovation, not only ourselves, but society as a whole. We have committed ourselves to being climate positive by 2030. But business and sustainability must balance. In this, innovation is a key tool for us. We were the first retail chain in the world to introduce organic foods. Our food pyramid helps everybody eat better, healthier, and more climate-friendly. We work with scientists to remove problematic chemicals from our foods. With our animal welfare heart grades, we rate and reward manufacturers. We employ solar energy, plant woods, and teach school children to make better and healthy food. All this and much more make for a sustainable future and a sustainable business. We take the lead when it comes to digital innovation. We were the first to introduce a digital ecosystem for our customers, the Coop app, a technology now sold to retailers all over the world. We developed the scan and pay technology. We were the first with a CO2 calculator that enables our customers to track the imprint made by what they're putting on their tables. Convenience and climate caring are at the very top of our customers' shopping list, and their shopping list is our agenda.
The customer's shopping list is our agenda in Coop. What that means is that we are owned by the customers. So what matters to the customers matters to Coop. Sustainability and business are 2 integral parts of our philosophy and our strategy. 2 examples of that. What we're doing with food waste, that's good for the climate, but it's also good for not having to write down on our products in the stores. Another example is we invested heavily in energy reduction, and that has saved us massively on both CO2 but also on the energy bill. Implementing the 2030 strategy will provide us with plenty of challenges. In Coop, being owned by our customers, we really strive to be the ones that know our customers the best. And we should be careful not generalizing. So truly, I believe in segments of one, that each customer is different. We have an ambition that Coop is for everybody, Coop is for all. But we are below fair share in the young segment. And there we would like some inspiration on how to move forward on that. In 2030, I foresee that we have delivered on our mission. In terms of sustainability, that we have become climate positive and that we're still the most sustainable brand in Denmark. In terms of digital, that we have merged online and offline together and are creating truly helpful, convenient solutions for our customers. I'm very pleased very proud and very excited to present this year's problem statement for you. The solution you will come up with will be very important for all of us at Coop and for the future of all of us. Good luck to all of you.
What strategic and responsible initiatives must Coop implement to successfully engage with the young generation and reach a total revenue growth of 5% over the next 5 years?
Hello, everyone. In our industry, we have a huge impact on the way that everybody lives their lives here in Denmark. How healthy we are, how well connected we are to local communities, how big a footprint on the climate we leave behind, and how convenient our everyday lives are. As an example of this, when we in Coop for all of our 1,000 stores buy organic products, we can negotiate collectively and also distribute effectively, meaning that organic products can be affordable for people all over Denmark. Another way to give options to the many that used to be reserved for the few is through digital. And let me give you 2 examples of that. One is our CO2 calculator that you just saw on the film. That enables our customers to track their own CO2 consumption and improve it. Second example, our crowdfunding platform. In that way, it enables all Danes to support organic farmers and green startups. As an example of that, right now, you can go in and help fund a startup that is producing biodegradable sanitary products made out of plants. So, digital technologies is helping Coop do what we have always done in the 150 plus years of Coop. Namely, being together on collective ownership and collective responsibility. Actually, you could say that we have been practicing sharing economy more than a century before it became fashionable. And still today, Coop is owned by our members, owned by our customers. And as we heard, on the top of their shopping list is sustainability and health. That brings us a huge obligation, which we welcome and we strive to live up to through a number of initiatives. Some examples. We have installed solar panels on our storage facilities. We have installed energy saving LED lights in all our stores. And we are right now also producing our own plastic bags in a circular way from the plastic waste that we have in our stores. These are just some of the ways that we are trying to achieve a very important part of our vision, which is to become climate positive in 2030. But what else can we do? And what else should we do to deliver on the agenda that is important to the young segment? This is where all the competing teams around the globe, you come into the picture. You've been working immensely hard to solve problems on behalf of Coop. I'm super excited to hear your thoughts, but also the ideas and what you have come up with. I'd also like to use this opportunity to thank CBS Case Competition for letting us play such a prominent role here today. And also a big, big thanks to you, the volunteers that have made this event possible. So on behalf of Coop, thank you everybody. Looking forward to a very interesting afternoon.
And now you're saying a lot of thank yous, but thank you to you, Gren Østergaard Nielsen, for the very interesting and inspiring words. Thank you.
Very much.
Now I will present the rules of tonight's competition, because they are very simple, but very, very important. Every team will get 15 minutes to present their solution, whereafter they will transition directly into a 10-minute Q&A, where the team will be given questions from the jury. In the Q&A, the participants are instructed to raise their hand when they want to answer a question. And to make the Q&A run smoothly, I will direct the questions from the jury to the participants. Before we continue to the case presentations, I would like to introduce you to the jury of the CBS Case Competition 2021. And this year's jury panel consists of top executives from various business fields who will each contribute with their expertise to find the best solution. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the jury of CBS Case Competition 2021. Beginning here from the right, we have Katrina Scheuer. Katrina Scheuer is a senior client partner with Korn Ferry, focusing on senior executive and boardroom recruitment and leadership advisory in global industrial markets. Katrina spent her early career years in management consulting and has for the past 10 years worked in executive search. Welcome, Katrina.
Thank you.
And here we have Christian Wulff Søndergaard. You have more than 15 years of experience as a leader, advisor, and influencer. Christian has worked across multiple industries and countries and been exposed to a range of issues in governmental and political bodies. He joined Carlsberg Group as Vice President of Corporate Affairs in May 2020. Welcome, Christian. Marianne Dahl. Marianne Dahl has managed Microsoft's Western European team since July 2019. And prior to her current role, she was country manager for Denmark and Iceland for 4 years. Under her leadership, the subsidiary crossed the 1 billion milestone and became the market leader in 2019. And the subsidiary also became the tech player with the best customer and employee satisfaction and the best image within the Danish market under her leadership. Big words, and welcome, Marianne. And of course, Gren Østergaard Nielsen, who we just met. Gren began his career as a sales assistant at Superbrugsen Hørning in East Jutland, as fancy as it gets, where he grew up. Here he worked from 1995 to 1999 while studying. And since then he became a buyer in Dansk Supermarked, marketing manager in Træstjernet, and from 2004 to 2012, he was, among other things, divisional director at ISS before joining McKinsey & Company in 2012 as a management consultant. In Coop, he has been property director, technology director, and a member of the executive board as CFO before being appointed as CEO in September 2020. And over here, Hans Henrik Bæk, partner at Bain & Company. With nearly 30 years of consulting experience, Hans Henrik co-founded Quartz and served as a managing partner prior to its integration with Bain & Company's Nordics team in early 2020. Hans Henrik Bæk is the co-leader of Bain & Company's Nordic practice based here in Copenhagen. Welcome, Hans Henrik. Malou Toft. Malou Toft is Vice President for Milestone in Europe, Middle East and Asia. And heads sales, marketing, and customer operations across the region with offices in 15 countries. Malou joined Milestone Systems in 2018 after an extensive career at the Telenor Group. Correct?
Correct.
Welcome. And Tommy Ahlers. Tommy Ahlers is a member of the Danish Parliament and former Minister of Higher Education and Science. Besides Tommy Ahlers' political career, he's a successful entrepreneur and has invested in more than 15 companies in the Nordic region. Welcome, Tommy. And last but not least, welcome Signe Frese. You have been at the forefront of Coop's CSR strategy for almost 8 years and has a huge stake in the company becoming a frontrunner on the green agenda in the grocery industry. Signe has previously worked as head of CSR at Irma, senior advisor within climate and environment at FDB, and as a product manager at WWF. Welcome to the jury. And now that we are familiar with Coop, with the case, and our jury is seated, I believe it's time to welcome our first team here on the stage. The first team I would like to present to you is called LinkedIn Park. I love that. It's a funny name. And they are calling from Aarhus. Welcome to them.
Hi, we are Team LinkedIn Park from Aarhus University in Denmark. My name is Lasse, and I'm in charge of strategy.
Hi, my name is Magnus, and I'm in charge of insights.
Hi, I'm Reddy, and I'm in charge of financials.
Hi, my name is Christian, and I'm also in charge of strategy.
We look forward to compete against you guys.
Welcome here to the Studio LinkedIn Park. The rules are as follows. You have 15 minutes to present your solution. And when those 15 minutes are up, the jury has 10 minutes to ask you guys questions. I wish you the best of luck. Take it away.
Hello, and thank you very much for having us today. Meet my colleagues, Christian, Magnus, Lasse. My name is Reddy, and we are Team LinkedIn Park. We are very excited to present our solution for you today. But before we start our presentation, I would like to quote Cambridge professor Paul Heacock. The things you're doing, no matter how seemingly unique, have been done before. Take advantage of and perhaps expand upon your predecessor's work. With that said, we would like to start our presentation. The situation in Co-op right now is that you possess amazing capabilities and assets, which you should be utilizing even more. Capabilities which can help mitigate low margins and a failure to reach the young segment. But you need a direction, which we would like to offer by a threefold solution, consisting of improving digital experience, strengthening discount stores, establishing a youth board. Now, Lasse would like to talk about your strong capabilities.
Thank you, Reddy. As Reddy mentioned, we are not here to sell you any brand new concepts that completely disrupt your current strategy and offerings. So before diving into the different challenges that you, Co-op, definitely are facing, it is vital to acknowledge and keep in mind that you currently have several strong capabilities and resources. Historically, you have been very good at both predicting trends, but also act upon them. For instance, in you being the first to adopt online shopping, as well as being an industry icon in terms of sustainable solutions. Furthermore, you have strong IT resources, which is evident in your well-developed core app that succeeds industry standards in terms of usability and layout. Basically, we believe that several current Co-op initiatives, such as Prime Conto and the focus on omnichannel, actually solves a larger part of the challenges that you are facing. You just need the right push. Moving on to the next slide, we see some of these challenges just mentioned. It has become clear that price no longer is the sole focus point for the young consumer, but that they also want experience when buying their groceries. They want to engage in an attractive customer journey that both needs to be convenient and comprehensive. With that said, the discount section of the supermarket industry is experiencing growth, and stable low prices will continue to be an even more important factor for the average consumer in the future, which you naturally need to accommodate. Looking internally, you arguably also face some organizational challenges. 8 out of 10 board members are 50 years and older, and this structure might not help Co-op with staying on top of future trends and neither facilitates the development of relevant initiatives. Overall, you, Co-op, find themselves in a tough position in an industry with decreasing margins and low growth in the traditional physical store arena. And combining that with a very serious, ambitious, sustainable agenda, you need the right solutions. Therefore, we have come up with a series of initiatives, and I will now hand the mic over to Reddy, who will take us through the selection process.
Through an exhaustive selection process, we have identified several possible initiatives, which could have been ideal in their own unique way. We identified these initiatives by looking at the key parameters above. We evaluated each initiative deeply and ultimately chose 3, which on the left are implementing a board, building an online food platform, and utilizing your already very strong core capabilities. Even though the other proposed initiatives could have been solid ideas, we've pointed out where they lack the necessary points, which is why we haven't moved forward with these. Moving on, we would like to go through the proposed solutions for the 3 initiatives. On the next slide. Divided into 3 different ideas, solutions, we want to improve the digital experience. 2, strengthen the discount, and 3, establish a youth board. Now, my colleague Lasse will dive into the first of our 3 solutions, improving digital experience.
Thank you, Reddy. So the first part of our threefold solution takes place in the wish of improving the digital user experience. An omnichannel shopping experience is clearly the future, also in the supermarket space, and we believe that Co-op already have most of the capabilities needed in order to offer their consumers a comprehensive online experience. You just need the last push. This is where Co-op Community comes into the picture. Co-op Community is an additional feature to the already well-functioning app. We believe that the Co-op app already has a lot of great features, but the data clearly shows that the usage rate for the younger generation is far too low. Co-op Community's primary task is to create app engagement with the younger segment and encourage them to make use of the Prime console solution. By focusing on gamification and shared experiences, we believe that it is able to provide a much needed convenience for the young consumer in their shopping experience, and just as importantly, incentivize them to take the more environmentally friendly choice. But how does this actually work? The next slide dives into this. As mentioned, Co-op Community will be an in-app feature available by just a click within the Co-op app. This allows for all the relevant data and functions from the app to be seamlessly integrated with Co-op Community. What it really is, though, is an online community catered towards the young consumer, primarily targeting the age group from late teens to early 30s. The community will function in a way much like other niche communities who have been in huge development in later years, exemplified by, for instance, the running app Strava and Pinterest. What set Co-op Community apart from other food blogs or regular social media is three things: the ability to share your own food creations and meal plans with friends and family, both fast, easy, and with great detail. The ability to, when you have drawn the inspiration for your Wednesday dinner or your weekly meal plan, you're able to directly add the recipe ingredients to your cart and purchase them on the spot. And the gamification of purchasing, meaning that you can interact in competition with your friends and family. For instance, who has bought the largest number of ecological products, or who has left the smallest climate footprint this week. The key mission for Co-op Community is to encourage the younger generation to make meal plans and sign up for Prime Conto. Meal plans will become an ever-increasing part of a hectic day of the youth. Co-op app, in collaboration with Co-op Community, will generate meal plans for the user that are easy to purchase and easy to tailor-made. It's also here that Prime Conto really comes into light. By nudging the consumers to think more in terms of meal plans, they will easily see the benefits of having Prime Conto, combining budgets, benefits, and inspiration into one. Now, let's look at how this works in practice by telling the story of Maya on the next slide. This is Maya. Maya is 24 years old and has a hectic week, meaning that she doesn't have time for neither doing lots of shopping or coming up with dinner plans for the current week. Luckily, she recently joined Co-op Community and became a member of Prime Conto. Now, she can quickly draw inspiration from her feed. This week, she chose to follow a meal plan from her favorite food influencer, but it could just as easily have been from a friend. She goes with a healthy 5-day option, which also puts her in the front seat in her internal green competition with her friends. Now she only needs to click add to the cart, paying with the remaining amount in her Prime Conto, and choosing the nearest store in which she goes down and buys the relevant products, or make the store pack it for her, and ending her journey in a convenient and fun fashion. Now handing the mic over to Christian, who will elaborate further on our digital solution.
Thank you very much. And as my colleague has mentioned, your company has a great asset in the Co-op app. We want to build onto that by enabling communities to emerge. Of course, for this to succeed, we need to create the necessary top-of-mind awareness. We plan on doing so via an integrated marketing effort, along with several pop-up events at strategic locations to create the necessary excitement. First, we want to post content on social media depicting the many benefits of the improved app in everyday settings. In addition, we'll engage in shop-level employees to boost the adoption rate. Secondly, we want to create real-life experiences and engage directly with the consumer via pop-up events. At these events, you'll meet employees from the stores, as well as senior managers. This will facilitate engagement between the consumer and Co-op's entire value proposition, meaning you'll learn about the improved app, as well as the sustainability journey that Co-op has been on and is still on. If we move on to the next slide, I'd like to address or present to you how we recommend that Co-op should revitalize their discount offering. On to the next slide, we see that Co-op is presented with a challenge in discount segment of their offering. It is estimated that discount will make up approximately 47% of the total Danish retail market by 2030. But most importantly, that Rema 1000 and Netto will capture the majority of this development. In other words, Fakta is falling behind, and we see this as a clear opportunity to revitalize Co-op's discount offering. We want to do so by utilizing the exciting project of Co-op 365 in order to actively test new concepts within discount and implement them into Fakta's offering. Specifically, we want to upgrade a total of 60 Fakta stores over the next 2 years. We know that you recently renovated many of your stores, but this has simply not been enough. We want to re-energize the offering and the perception of Fakta in order to get lost, in an effort not to get lost behind the competition in discount. As you can see on the right-hand side, key elements of this includes an upgraded in-store inventory where we want to focus on look and the feel of this. It is important to change the actual purchasing experience and the associations which the consumers currently hold. We want to emphasize that this will be a gradual rollout, which will enable sufficient flexibility in implementing insights from Coop 365, and will also ensure that we're sufficiently ambitious and creative in the new concepts which we implement. Moving on, my colleague Radi will take you through our third and final recommendation.
Thank you very much, Christian. For the last solution, we asked ourselves, how can Coop motivate the youth to play an active role? It was a very difficult question to answer because, quite frankly, as young individuals, none of us wanted to fill out any more surveys, get a call from a Coop spokesperson. So we looked at your corporate structure, which is unlike any other in Denmark. We realized that the representation of youth at decision-level activities were close to non-existent, which is quite normal for a traditional board, but we want to change this. Introducing Coop Denmark Youth Board, a board consisting of a diverse group of younger individuals from different backgrounds who can offer their own unique perspective for Coop. Imagine having a group of young people doing a case competition for Coop as long as you want. The responsibilities of this youth board is to discuss new initiatives, and specifically the young segment, where they will act as an advisory to the board by having representatives give presentations on their ideas at the actual board meetings. And now Christian will talk a little bit about how these will all impact with our three solutions.
Thank you very much. And to close out our recommendation, I'd like to take you through the several impacts which our solution entails. Most importantly, our solution ensures engagement with the younger segments, both as a consumer, but also as an integrated part of the Coop organization. Our threefold solution also builds onto existing capabilities, and it ensures an improved and integrated purchasing experience. Coop communities will encourage healthy and sustainable habits, and it fits very well into the recent demand for such services. It will also provide a natural gateway into Coop Prime, as more and more shopping will take place in Coop. In addition to this, our solution will strengthen the discount segment and revitalize Fakta. This will result in a balanced value proposition with competitive offerings across all brands within Coop. Finally, the Youth Board will ensure that we leverage the knowledge of young consumers directly and that we're able to provide relevant offerings even in the future. At this point, my colleague Magnus will take you through the financial impact.
Thank you, Christian. So we made a solution targeting the youth, but how will it impact the financials of the whole organization? We were asked to create a revenue growth of 5% in 5 years. So firstly, on the left-hand side, you'll see the year-on-year development of the revenue where we use 2021 as the base until 2025. And here we will exceed the goal by 0.4%. This revenue increase is driven by increased investment in-store and by Coop Prime. Furthermore, we wanted to come up with a feasible solution that could drive a sustainable growth on the bottom line. That is why we made a solution where cost wouldn't surpass the growth in revenue. So we generated a net present value of 18 million Danish kroner. So to sum it all up, we'll reach the goal of a 5% increase in revenue with a feasible, sound solution. So if we move on to the next slide, we'll need a sound implementation plan to ensure that it will make an immediate impact. So if we focus on the digital experience through Coop Community, then it is a must-win battle for Coop to engage the relevant users at the right time. Furthermore, it is essential for the implementation of strengthening discount to test concepts in stores and implement gained knowledge to the next stores in the rollout phases. Lastly, it is critical for the youth board that they will have established a clear vision and roles to ensure that they have an influence on the current organizational setup. So if we move on to the risks, then we have 2 key risks out of our many assessed risks. So for the first major risk of not creating a community, we'll mitigate it by launching an extensive marketing campaign parallel to the new feature in app. And if we look at number 4, about not delivering results in the discount stores, we'll mitigate the risk by continuously testing new concepts and implementing those in stores. Lastly, I will hand the word over to Radi to close out our presentation.
Thank you very much, Magnus. We have now offered our view on what co-op can look like. Our 3 solutions will help propel you towards the future. We are leveraging internal capabilities, engaging the young generation, and moving towards sustainability. You don't only have to be a visionary to be successful. You just need a framework and a goal. We look forward to your questions. Thank you very much.
That was very precisely 15 minutes, a few seconds left. Thank you, LinkedIn Park, for your interesting presentation. And let's turn to the jury for the Q&A. And Katrina Scheuer, would you like to start the discussion?
Why not? Thanks.
Why not?
Well done. Thanks a lot. I have a question around your revenue growth projections. So you have a lot around increasing the customer experience and sort of getting the younger people inside your universe. But in this kind of environment, basket size is key. So have you thought about the assortment mix, how this entire new universe will play with the current assortment, how the data that you generate with this new traffic, how you can refine that and sort of work towards increasing basket size, which ultimately then drives your revenue growth?
Yes, Magnus?
Yes, okay. So we have primarily focused on the aspect of them increasing the amount of times they come into the stores. So we are trying to lock our customers here to exactly go to the co-op stores instead of shopping around in different stores by using this Prime account. So we want to increase the switching costs and thereby increase the revenue and increase the consumption of each customer in the stores. I hope it answered your question.
Yep, fine, thank you.
Hans Henrik?
Yeah, I think great presentation. I'm a bit sad to say you sound like somebody from Bain, very linear and slightly conservative. So I think one fundamental question is actually what are we serving for? And having you online, I think what could be intriguing was actually to know what are the underserved and unserved needs of the young population that you actually drive the growth and the demand. I think you had elements of that ingrained in your solution, but I think that is a core aspect of actually driving the solution forward.
We'll take that question. Yes, Lasse?
So to understand you correctly, you mean why is this serving the needs of the youth? Is that
yeah,
how
I think be honest, what are the underserved or unserved needs of young people?
Absolutely. So from my perspective and a lot of the friends I know, we often sit Sunday night planning our meal plan for the next week and trying to draw inspiration, try to figure out how we best possibly can have different meals according to the next week. And this is really where this community aspect comes into play, where both we are able to draw inspiration from all kind of people, both influencers, vertical opinion leaders, and each other, but also easily to adapt and take these different recipes, etc., add them to us. So it's so convenient just to go down in the store, knowing what to buy and what not to buy.
Great. Milou?
Hey guys, I would like to ask you a little bit more on how you have defined the young segment. Are you talking young families? Are you talking students? So how have you made up the characteristics of the segment that you're actually targeting?
Rati? You can answer.
Yes, thank you very much. When we looked at specifically the board, we talked about how the segmentation would go, because essentially the people we want on our board are also the people we want to focus on in the segments. And we want to target people from the age of 18 to 25, where we're both going to target single and families with children and couples. So essentially, this is what we define as our younger segment, the age from 18 to 25. But of course, it can go beyond that, but this is the core segment we want to focus on.
Thank you. Christian, the next question.
Yeah, thank you. Well done, guys. You list up 3 strategic elements, but I was curious to ask if you see any kind of accelerators between the different elements. So is there a positive interplay between the recommendations that you have listed?
Yes, Christian, you can answer.
Yes, thank you very much. So first and foremost, what Radi is mentioning is that I think there's a little bit of effect here. But what Radi is mentioning is that first we are including young people into organizations, which we're also at the same time targeting. That's the first thing. The second thing is that with the communities that we're building, we want to create an integrated purchasing experience. And a part of that is also being able to provide a really competitive discount offer. Currently, Coop is doing very well in the high end, in the organic section, but where you see that they're struggling is discount offer. So of course, if we want to lock in Coop customers and provide a really truly integrated purchasing experience, we need to also provide some sort of competitive discount offer. And we see great synergies between our threefold solution in these areas.
Thank you, Christian. And the next question, Tommy.
Thanks. And also thanks from my side for a fantastic presentation. And Les, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but even at the age of 45, I'm still struggling with my meal plans every Sunday night. So that never stops. So Coop has something to solve for also for the older generation. My question is, I think any retailer, any company out there is dreaming about having a community, because it's a great way to communicate with your own with your consumers. But I haven't seen an example of a retailer, any company out there succeeding building a community. It always has to be neutral in order for you to actually accept it. So my question is, why do you think Coop can be successful in creating such a community?
Yeah, Christian, you can answer.
Yes, thank you very much. And I think Leslie can support it if I miss anything. But what we really see is that we've drawn a lot of inspiration from running apps. So we see Strava, MyFitnessPal, and I think Endomondo, where we see that these companies have succeeded in creating these niche communities. So you mentioned that generally we like neutral communities, so Instagram and Facebook, but we also see that these niche segments are underserved and that there is actually room for having these niche communities. And we also see great possibilities because Coop has a great app and it should be fairly feasible to add on to this and add the community aspect.
Lasse, you can support.
And if I were to support briefly, it is basically that a lot of these companies that try to build communities, they don't really have the profile fitting for the community that they want to build. Coop does that. They are market leader, industry leader in sustainable actions. They are brilliant in their IT solutions. So they actually, you can say, back up their claim of creating this genuine community, which is why we believe it's the case.
Thank you. Marianne, did you have a question for the guys?
Yes, please. Team LinkedIn Park, thank you for a great presentation. Although at an age of 46, I've either not still had a week plan for my meals, but I'm inspired to hear you have. My question were, what kind of discount retail concept have you been inspired by? I'm thinking Normal, Tier, pop-up stores. How have you been viewing these different concepts, and which of them is it you want to have Kren to implement?
Christian, you can answer.
Thank you very much. So in this case, we've actually looked internally. So Coop currently has this Coop 365 discount brand, which is very exciting, which has a unique focus on local and organic produce. And this is something we've looked quite a lot at, because what we see currently with Factor is that it's quite a struggling store. And in order to re-energize this concept or this brand, we want to focus on making it more organic, making it more local, but also being, as I said previously, being a little bit more ambitious and using this unique opportunity with a recently started brand to actually test new concepts, since it is not an established concept as of now.
Thank you. Malou, a question?
Yes, thanks. You have talked mostly about Factor and the 360 store, 365. And that makes me think that you're thinking about this young segment as only cost conscious. Are you also considering that some of Coop's other retail brands can fit your segment here?
Christian, you can answer.
Thanks for the question. So just to clarify, we actually see that in Coop's entire house of brands fits our segment, but we see that on discount that they're struggling. So this is why we focus on Factor. But we actually see that Subros and Quickly and the other brands have a very unique offering in the quality segment. So we truly believe that all brands can hit our target segment, but we focus on Factor because we see that they're struggling within a growing market within discount.
Thank you. And a last question. Yes, Signe?
Well, thank you very much for a really, really good presentation. I'm really thinking if you could create such a community world with all our customers, that would be fantastic. And along with what Tommy said, I'm thinking, why hasn't it happened yet? So you suggest some features also, and perhaps that could help it. But I'm sort of thinking you were suggesting pop-up events. So I'm understanding that's physical events to do the marketing to attract customers into our new community. I'm wondering your thoughts about the divide between digital and physical. Also, a last question.
I'm so sorry, Signe, that was the time.
Oh, no.
I could see the boys longing to answer, but that was the 10 minutes. Thank you so much to the jury for the sharp questions, and an even bigger thank you to LinkedIn Park. Thank you so much. Now it's time for the first commercial of tonight, presenting Milestone, the preferred partner for CBS Case Competition 2021.
We're getting ready. Always on our toes. We're chasing the dream, never stepping down. Because we are shaping the future. Thinking of the world around us. Wondering, what if? What if we could make people and businesses even safer? Our cities smarter. And experiences better. While protecting the environment. And ourselves. How do we make the best use of data while always acting responsibly? Let's run towards a new dawn and a better future, transformed by video technology.
It's now time to present our second team of tonight here on the stage. I'm proud to present Falcon Consulting from Maastricht, the Netherlands.
Hi, we are Team Falcon Consulting. We represent Maastricht University from the Netherlands. I'm Zoe and I'm the team captain.
Hi, my name is Henry and I'm responsible for strategy.
My name is Jacob and I'm responsible for finance.
Hi, my name is Sophie and I'm responsible for the marketing.
Welcome, Team Falcon Consulting here on the stage. I'll just give you the rules real quick. You have 15 minutes to present your solution. And when those 15 minutes are up, you will have 10 minutes with questions from the jury. I wish you the best of luck. The stage is yours.
53 hours. That's the average time that each of us spends in a supermarket every single year. And for me, in the current pandemic, that's more time than I spend with my best friend right now. And that's right now is the chance to really connect and to build relationships with the customers now for the future. But let's first present ourselves. We are Team Falcon Consulting, consisting out of Henry, Sophie, Zoe, and me, Jacob. And as you can see on the next slide, today we really want to build those relationships by establishing the customer engagement and also implementing the omni-channel experience inside Co-op. Now I'll pass the words to Henry, who will introduce you to your value creation model.
So let's first have a look at your current value creation model. You have some key processes. For example, corporate social responsibility, which you value a lot and which you do quite good thing on. This, of course, impacts the perceived value for your customers and triggers customer engagement. Also, you have some key resources, a large different range of brands, an already quite broad customer base, missing the youth in the moment, but you build a co-op app, which we leverage on later. Your mission is to bring good meals and responsible and sustainable produced food in the stores to your customers. On the next slide, we can see some current industry trends. Of course, the COVID-19 pandemic, which has a heavy impact on the global economy, and the e-commerce industry is thriving. But after it ends, the people will come back to the stores and are looking for new experience. We have shifting demographics. Already over 12% of the population account for the young generation. And especially these consumers are becoming more environmental conscious and demanding. So you can tap into the younger target group if you make them aware what you are still doing. For example, with innovative technologies. Digitalization is transforming the retail industry, and over 90% of the Danish citizens are online and actively engaged. So let them engage in your store with leveraging on emerging technologies. Now I will hand over the word to Zoe.
We established, with these industry trends in the back of our minds, we established a co-op strategy. And we're going to start off with creating engagement. And this engagement will be created with appreciating the younger generation, as you can see on the next slide. 80% of all students experience severe levels of stress. And Co-op can tap into this by showing appreciation to the younger generation and understanding their needs. And their needs is to reduce those levels of stress. And Co-op can help out with that by providing student meal boxes. Co-op will offer healthy and quick recipes which are sustainable and which students can select and order through the Co-op app. In the Co-op app, they will be displayed with a range around 7 recipes which they can use and they can see and choose themselves, and these will be delivered at their doorstep. These recipes will be created with chefs to enhance the credibility and to make sure it's actually healthy and sustainable throughout. If we move on to the next slide, we can see how we will be launching this campaign. The student meal boxes will include a small stress-relieving motivational present. This will also enhance and foster the relationship you're trying to build with these students. You will create awareness by reaching out to influencers and to advertise them, let them advertise the meal boxes. And first, we will want to implement this during the exam period. Because during the exam, students are more stressed than ever. And we will start off with implementing this in Copenhagen, Aalborg, and Aarhus, as these are the most prominent student cities throughout Denmark at the moment. And with the student meal boxes, you will be able to create engagement with the youth, increase the app usage, and to target traditionally students who don't have the money to be foodies, but who actually want to eat healthy. And now they can do that with the student meal boxes. I will pass the word over to Sophie, who will introduce you to the second part of our strategy.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Can you believe that more than 70% of today's generation prefers going to stores instead of shopping online? Therefore, we recommend your company to provide a unique, personalized and innovative customer experience to make shopping more convenient with an online-offline perspective strategy. Before we go deeper into the strategy, let's have a look at some facts on the next slide. 83% of the people who enter the stores actually use their mobile phone. 51% of the Generation Z identifies IR as very important to them. And 88% of the medium-sized companies are already implementing this augmented reality. Therefore, based on these findings, we developed a 5-year business plan on how your company can implement augmented reality to create a seamless omni-channel experience. We think that thereby you can increase the convenience of your customers. You can build valuable experiences and build long-lasting customer relations. We developed 4 different ideas that can be rolled out within the next years in a phased approach, as you can see on the next slide. So let's have a look at the first idea, which is based on the trend of personalization, which is key to today's generation nowadays. So what does it actually bring you? So it will build personalized omnichannel experience to the customers and educate the people and create awareness. How does it look like? So the customer will enter the store and they will see a QR code on the floor. They will be able to scan it and will be immediately transferred to the app. Then they will be asked to put in filters. So as you know, we are a very complicated generation. In 1 week we are sustainable, in the other week we want to be gluten-free, or also we have a lot of allergies. So they can filter the diet and then look through their phone to see the product shelves with products that are color-coded. So based on the diet, the company Coop will actually give personalized recommendation to the customers, and they can see the products in green, which they can eat, and the products in red, which they maybe should prevent if they want, for example, a sustainable life. So it will reduce the pain of doing research and helps people adopt a new and healthy lifestyle more easy. If we move on to the next slide, we have our second feature, which will be implemented after the first one is, will be implemented. So you can leverage upon your current capabilities and implement an augmented reality tool that provides customers with more information. So Henry highlighted it before. You're very good at your social responsibilities. However, we think that you do not really communicate it yet that well to your customers. And today's generation really values transparency. And that's why we think that you should implement the augmented reality filter. And then we look deeper into, okay, what do the customers actually want to know about their product? And we came up with 3 things. First of all, they want to know more things about the ingredients. Secondly, they want to understand the whole supply chain. So where does the product come from? And thirdly, what impact it has on the planet Earth. So now I will hand over to Henry, who will talk you through how you can attract the new generations.
Thank you, Sophie. So in the moment, going shopping for younger families can be a pain, or it is really stressful if you have the small children running around. So we implement a feature to help young families with gamification. We can introduce a small scavenger hunt where customers can scan a QR code in the store, and then children have to find characters throughout the whole store. That will make grocery shopping a fun occasion, and it directly builds long-lasting relationship with young customers, but also with their parents. Also with this app, while the children are going throughout the store, the parents will follow and of course buy more. So this will also increase revenue. On the next step, on the next slide, we can see the full potential of augmented reality. So all people today carry their phone around with them everywhere, anytime. And what can you use your phone for? For example, if I want to explore something new, I will use Google Maps to find it. But in a store, I'm always struggling to find the products I need. So how great would it be if I have an app with an augmented reality feature where I can just put in the product I need and it will guide me there. So this is already doable, and it will completely new user experience, and it will especially attract young customers. So it presents the opportunity for real differentiation compared to other competitors. It will enhance the omni-channel experience. One company who's already working on that is 4D Scan, so a small Danish startup which can help you with that. I will now pass over the word to Zoe, who will guide you throughout the implementation.
Thank you, Henry. We established a 5-year implementation plan, as you can see on the top of the slide. On the left side of the slides, we separate our 2 strategies, and we're going to start off with creating engagement. As you can see, the first step is to set your social media demands, to identify who you want to reach, how many people do you want to reach, and which people do you want to reach. The second step is to contact the chefs, create the recipes, and get that going. Then you need to hire the right employees, contact the influencers, and start launching the campaign. With the launch of the campaign, you will be able to reach out to multiple different thousands of students, and they will immediately tap into that, and you will immediately engage with the younger generation. Then, of course, you need to evaluate and modify where needed, and there's even opportunity to expand the meal boxes to a different target group. For the online-offline perspective, we recommend to first start with finding a partner. Once this is done, the milestones can begin. The first milestone after finding a partner is setting up your coding phase. In the coding phase, you have product information, you put in the filter, and you create content. Reaching the second milestone, you're now ready to start testing in the Co-op 365 stores. You will test, evaluate, implementing both iOS and Android, and you will create awareness. Leading to the third milestone, the complete implementation of the filter and the product information. Once this is done, you will be gradually implementing as well in-store navigation as gamification, and then you have a full functional AR feature within the store and on the app. If we move on to the next slide, you will see the risk and mitigations of our strategy. We identified 3 risks which we want to tackle with you straight away today. The first one being that the youth might not respond to the new product offerings, and this has an intermediate impact. However, this can be mitigated by intensifying the market research and implementing or adjusting the product offerings. The second risk is that there's an unexpected rise in the implementation cost of the AR feature. It has a huge impact, but this is easily to mitigate. This is a step-by-step approach, as highlighted in the implementation before. Not all the features need to be implemented at the same time, which makes it more easy to spread out the cost. The second risk is the failure to increase the usage of the AR feature, which is also a huge impact. However, it can be mitigated by launching a social media campaign, place extensive in-store advertisements, as well creating higher incentives, as mentioned with the gamification, for example. I will now pass the word over to Jacob, who will dive into our financials.
On the left-hand side, you can see the gross profit in million Danish krona, and on the right-hand side, you can see the revenue in million Danish krona. And as you can see in the graph, we're predicting a 4.946 revenue growth over those entire 5 years with a 1.5 million gross profit increase. We had a couple of assumptions. You can see those on the right-hand side. For example, you already have some recipe boxes in the store at 33.39 Danish krona. It is quite cheap when looking to the customer, but it's the baseline, and depending on the competition, you can also pull this a bit up, also increasing the revenue stream. If we now move to the next slide, we can see key KPIs to really track your progress. It's on the next slide. Exactly, right. So on the left side, you can see the first KPI is that we want to deliver 10,000 food boxes per week by December 2022, just to really engage the students, but also get the meal boxes rolling. Next, we currently have 250,000 daily app users. It's still on the same slide. We want to increase this up to 350,000 users by 2023. Furthermore, we mentioned a lot that we really want to engage the young people, so we would like to see a 12% increase in young customers by the end of 2021. And we mentioned you're really good in sustainability. And how do we measure this? We said, okay, we want that 2% more sustainable purchases by June 2024, because that's what we think is the main way to track this. Now, on the next slide, maybe taking a breath, because actually it was quite a lot of information you received right here, just to really sum up our whole presentation. So the main issues is first the disconnection with the youth. It's a highly competitive market with low margins, and it's also the demand for personalization. And therefore, we set 2 strategies that you should try. First, the creating engagement strategy. This were the meal boxes, the student mailboxes, and the other strategy was the online offline experiences. This was the augmented reality. And there's many features here, right? There's the gamification, there's the possibility for in-store navigation, it's also to increase awareness, and also the filter. So there's a lot to do right here. And the impact of this is then an increased engagement in the young generation, but also this valuable omni-channel experience, also increasing app usage, the customer base, as well as revenue growth. So now coming to the final slide, we said that we want to connect the people, we want to have relationships, and we want to do so with the customer engagement, as well as the implementation of the rich omni-channel experience for Co-op. And at the beginning, I mentioned that we spend 53 hours every year in a supermarket. So let's make sure that this time is spent in Co-op. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Falcon Consulting, for your presentation and your proposal. Let's jump to the Q&A. And I think we'll start with Signe, who got cut off by the time before. Signe, short and sweet this time.
I will try.
Your question for Falcon Consulting.
Yes. Hello, Falcon. Great presentation. My thought is that, going into the supermarket is already quite a busy environment. There's lots of prices and signs and things. Have you thought about this when you want to add augmentation to the experience as well? And what are your thoughts on that? Could it be too busy?
Henry, you can answer the question.
So, of course, there's a lot going on in the supermarket, but we think that with implementing this AR feature, it will even reduce the stress and all the surrounding things, because you will look at your phone and you have all the information cleared up there for you. And also with the filters, you just see the products you really want and really need. So we think overall that this will help to reduce the mess going on in the supermarket, and not increase it.
Thank you, Henry. Next question, Tommy.
Yeah, it's a bit of follow-on on that one. Since 2005, we've been dreaming about augmented reality changing a number of experiences in our world, and yet it has still not happened. What factors is changing so massively, either from a technology perspective or a human perspective, the next 5 years, so you want to put that in as a major driver in your strategy?
Henry, you can answer.
So from now on, all our phones, for example, are getting bigger and better. So you have a better screen you can see it on. Furthermore, over the last years, Google, as Apple, developed software development kits for AR. And for example, in 2013, IBM already introduced kind of a scan feature on the CeBIT. So it is technically possible, and today we have the devices to really use it.
Thank you, Henry. Malou, next question.
Who's the biggest competitor in the current marketplace to try and take this position, if not Coop?
Henry? Or
So,
Zoe?
In the moment, okay. So in the moment
we had...
Zoe, your turn.
Okay, I'm sorry. So in the moment, we especially focused on the discount segment, because this is more and more rising. People are becoming more price conscious. And we identified, for example, Lidl as well as Aldi and also Rema 1000 as huge competitors in this discount segment. However, the impact on Coop is that indeed they are losing market share regarding that. But therefore, we want to highlight the need for clear differentiation. And we believe that by creating that community engagement with the young student, as well as that online-offline perspective through the AR features, you will be able to differentiate and actually tackle the competitors that you're currently facing within those segments.
Thank you, Zoe. Hans-Henrik Beck, take it away.
Yeah, thank you. I think it was a pretty cool solution, and I think you're conveying what the young people actually need was pretty insightful. Also, the more emotional comments about your energy level on certain dates. I think that was pretty cool. My bigger question is more like, you have like 13% of the population in the youth segment, which is like 750,000 in Denmark. And if Kren is going to reach out to 250 of those pretty fast, how the heck do you do that? Because the 350 we already have are probably my age. So how do you actually get the online penetration among the young people up?
Yes, Jacob, you can answer.
Yeah, also Zoe, I think she's more the specialist in that area.
Zoe.
Once we looked at our KPIs, you're referring to the 350 daily app users by 2023, and we want to maybe highlight even more that you are currently already up to 250,000, and we aim for increasing that number by 100,000. And this will be done mainly throughout the influencers that will target the students with student mailboxes, as well as the extra AR features that you need the app in order to use those features. So the students or the young generation, so it also includes young families, will be able to scan the QR code before they walk in, and they will be directed to the app in order to use those features. And I think Jacob can add on to this.
Yes.
Yeah, we also thought about some other features we could implement into the app. We didn't put it in this solution because there was already quite a lot going on, but we really wanted to improve the online experience. So for example, in the store, you're really looking carefully where to place each item, but in the app, it's not really going on that much. It's more all over the place. So we wanted to also have the sorting also more in the app, also more on the website. And we also thought about a couple of features. For example, you have a shopping list, it's individual. How about we make this for a family? So I can add shopping items and for the entire family, and we can directly book all of this online. Another feature we thought about, because we're really unique, we mentioned this, the young generation. And sometimes, I don't know, we want to buy a smoothie bowl, but how about we can just put a small feature into the app to report items that are missing? And like this, we really help the customer. We know what we want, but we're also getting a free market analysis. So there's a lot going on inside the app. And yeah, I hope this answered the question.
Thank you, Jacob. Kren, CEO at Coop, do you have a question for Falcon Consulting?
Yeah, thanks for a great presentation. It's not up to us to say how customers should live their lives, but we should help them achieve the goals that they want. And I really like the idea of the filters. There's some controversy about the AR. Have you considered alternative technologies to achieve the same objective?
Yes, Henry, you can answer.
So especially on the website, that, for example, could be artificial intelligence to group the items according to the preference of the user. If we would go for more traditional in-store layouts, you could, for example, build special corners for sustainable items or according to a diet.
Thank you, Henry. Katrina, a question from you?
So actually I have two quick questions. So one question around your box delivery. So box delivery to students where the content is quite low margin product categories. Have you thought about the logistics and operations and the profitability around that?
Zoe?
We actually have, and we also see that the new box delivery is a highly competitive market right now. You have HelloFresh doing it, and you have multiple other companies doing it. But the way you differentiate yourself is really by targeting those students. And of course, you have to think about indeed the logistics behind this. But we do see that you already have distribution center in place. And regarding the fact that the students are not making up the majority of your populations, we do believe that at first you can leverage upon your in-house capabilities and facilities that you already have in place. So you will be able to distribute it maybe from the distribution center you already have and to ship it out from there to, at least, as we said, the first 3 student cities, Copenhagen, Aarhus, and Aalborg, to really first track and evaluate whether it's going well and then maybe adjust in terms of problems you encounter along the way.
Yes, Jacob, you can follow up.
And also in terms of finances, we thought about this. If it goes really big, we already calculated a 50 million investment into a new distribution center in year 3. So that was reducing the gross profit there already. So that was also part we thought about that we maybe have to increase, but it's all already inside in the revenue stream.
Thank you. Is it very quick?
Very quick. You mentioned hire employees, which I love. Who would be the first one you would employ?
Zoe?
The first one to employ would probably be to set up a team for the AR features and to set up a technical teamwork behind that regarding that. So a team that will reach out to the partners and that have actually the technological knowledge to check what your eventual partner will be doing in terms of technology. So I think that's the first step to reach on from regarding our strategy.
Thank you, Zoe. And Marianne, very quick.
Very
last
quick.
question.
Thank you for great solutions on the digital side. In the in-store side, how have you viewed the different retail concepts within the Coop family? Which are most feasible and which are least feasible for this?
Henry, you can answer.
Okay. So we would like to implement this first in the Coop 365 stores because these are already pilot stores. You are already trying out new things in there. So this would be the first step to implement it there and then probably go on to the factor stores to really increase the value in this discounter segment.
Thank you. Christian, do you have a quick last question?
Yeah, thank you and good job. More on the revenue drivers and what are the main revenue drivers behind the 5% and what kind of adoption and repeat usage is needed in those segments.
Jacob?
Yeah, so it's a two-side strategy. So for the AR, we're really predicting there will be a lot of media coverage about this, that Coop is already going the next step in that segment. So that's why we expect a growth in a market share of around 1%. That's one of the main drivers there. And then also from the boxes, there's two-way things to drive the revenue. So first, this is the delivery boxes, of course, but also when people are already buying those boxes, they can already add some other items from their shopping list or in general. And
Thank you,
they know
Falcon
the online store.
Consulting. That was 10 minutes. I hate to do this, but you can't talk anymore. Thank you very much. And now it is time for the second commercial break of tonight, presenting the next company partner, which is Corn Ferry. Last but not least, let's see if our last team can battle these two previous solutions. Calling in from Navarra, Spain, we have Team Meeseeks.
Hi CBS, we are Meeseeks Consulting from the University of Navarre of Pamplona in Spain. I'm Ana Lucia Valencia, the team captain, and I'm in charge of creating creative solutions and spotting pain points.
Hi CBS, my name is Alexander Gonzalez, and I'm in charge of marketing.
Hi everyone, I'm Javier Moreno, and I'm in charge of finance.
Hi everyone, I'm Juan Silvestre, and I'm in charge of competition analysis.
Welcome, Team Meeseeks. And I don't know if this is intentional, but there is a character on the cartoon Rick and Morty that is called Mr. Meeseeks. So that's why, yeah, I'll just say what that is, because that is a creature that comes to solve a problem and only leaves when the problem is solved. So that's a part of your presentation as well, I guess. Well, the rules are you have 15 minutes to present your solution, and then you'll have 10 minutes with questions from the jury. The stage is yours.
Hi CBS, we are Meeseeks Consulting from the University of Navarre, and we are here to present our solution for the co-op trying to engage the young Danish population. So when I lived at home, I never really thought about or was concerned about supermarkets. Mom would just disappear for 2 hours, come back, and there would be food in the fridge. But coming to the university, I had to face the supermarket challenge, and many young university students, as well as young workers, have to face this challenge. So challenges include not having enough time of balancing work and going to the supermarket, having a limited budget, or not knowing which product to buy because you don't know which one is the healthiest. Or even when you get home, wasting a lot of food because you don't know how to cook it or how to manage efficient cooking. So we are glad that Co-op wants to engage with the young generation and that they want to solve these pain points to attract them more. But how are they going to do this? Next slide, please. We know that young consumers seek cheap goods with seamless delivery and also that support sustainability. We also know that young consumers are very comfortable with the digital era and with applications. That's why our solution has an app experience that gamifies food waste, generates a Coop community, and has smart shopping. But we also focus on an in-store experience with a collect and order system and with an enhanced home delivery. With all of this, we expect to attract 75,000 new young consumers and also generate 36.4% in market share and 13.5% in revenue growth in the next 5 years. How? Next slide.
Okay, so as my partner said, our target consumers are the young generations, and they are usually very budget limited. So where do they shop? They shop at discount markets. And as we can see, Coop is not doing that well as in terms of market share. Facta is in fact at around a little bit over 5% in market share. Next slide, please. Now on the online market, we can see that Coop is doing a little bit better at a 14% market share, but there's still room for improvement when we compare to other competitors. Next slide. Again, our target customers are the young generations, which are Gen Zers and millennials. Gen Zers are usually single students or recently new employees. They account for 12% of the population, and the interesting thing is that they actually enjoy in-store shopping, but are very budget constrained and don't really have that much time. Also, they don't know how to cook, and this will play a major role in our solution. On the other hand, millennials are usually single adults or new households. They account for 20% of the population, and they don't enjoy in-store shopping as much. They would actually rather have their groceries delivered to them, or maybe just pick them up already prepared for them. Next slide. So one thing that all customers love, and especially our target customers, is sustainability. Danish consumers are in search of transparency, sustainability, and ethical products. So we think that Coop should focus not only on customers, but now on suppliers and transportation. Next slide. As I said, Coop has the potential to grow. It has the tools, but we think they need to be better used. We need to create a seamless process from purchase to delivery. We need to increase app usage by creating a community, and we need to incentivize people to be green and earn discounts. Alex will better explain this in the next slides.
Thank you, Juan. So we've pinpointed the main pain points, what needs to be done, and the strategy of how to implement what needs to be done. So focusing on the pain points, we've identified that there's a concern for sustainable and socially responsible business, increasing competition in the discount market, which we need to take advantage of. There's increasing demand of online grocery markets. There's an age gap between current and young consumers, and changing consumer preferences. What Coop should be doing is incentivize healthy, sustainable, and waste-free habits, gamify discounts, develop a personalized omnichannel, digitalization with price-sensitive and price-adjusted shopping, and focus on fast, spontaneous, and seamless buying experiences. Now, this is going to be implemented in two ways. One, through the app, and two, in the in-store. So focusing on the app, we have a vision to gamify the food waste through discount points, and also to implement smart shopping with budgeting to help students that are budget constrained. Now, an in-store solution consists of a collect and order system with enhanced delivery using green vehicles. Next slide. Delving into the in-app experience, we want to eliminate food waste as much as possible by gamifying it. In essence, what this consists of is when you're in the store, you scan the code of a product, and the closer your product is to the expiration date, the more food waste points that you're going to gain, and that can later be translated into discount points, which you can then use to buy organic and eco-friendly products. If you accumulate enough points, then you can also get bigger prizes. Next slide. But what happens when you go home and you have a bunch of products that are about to expire, or maybe you're not keeping track of it? Well, luckily, the Coop app will follow up and give you a notification saying, for example, well, you have some lettuce and tomatoes that expire in 2 days. You should probably make a salad. Well, maybe you don't know how to make a salad because you're a student and you've never learned how to cook. Luckily, the Coop app is also going to offer custom recipes that are healthy for you. And if you have your own recipes, you can even add them to the Coop app. And what this is going to do, it's going to pioneer an untapped discount market through gamification. It's going to reduce food waste and increase sustainability while engaging young consumers. And very importantly, it's going to reduce the accumulation of old stock and increase inventory turnover in the supermarkets, and while providing healthy cooking options for its customers. Next slide. And this also is going to tie into Coop Community, which is going to be a social platform within the app. Now, let's say you finally make the recipe that Coop recommended to you. You can share the healthy meal that you just created on the Coop Community, while at the same time promoting healthy eating and trying to eliminate food waste and sharing your own recipes. This we have envisioned to be a medium to long-term solution after careful marketing research is conducted. Now, if Coop does decide to go through with this plan, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great source of customer retention. It's going to eliminate food waste, and it's going to increase social capital because, as it stands, Coop already has 30% of the Danish population downloaded their app. So a lot of these people are going to take advantage and be trendsetters by posting really cool photos of their healthy meals. And at the same time, for management, it's going to work as a wonderful source of secondary data analysis. Next slide. What we're very excited about, though, is smart shopping. So as it stands, Coop has Coop Prime, and what that consists of is customers can set a certain amount of money that they want to spend in a certain month. But what they don't know how to do is how to spend that efficiently. What the Coop smart shopping is going to do, it's going to use artificial intelligence and machine learning to identify a list of products that you're interested in, and then with those products, it's going to create baskets that you can buy. So once you have multiple baskets, let's say in basket 1 there's A and C, in 2 C and D, in basket 3 there's A, B, and D, and there can even be an organic option basket, which is going to give you points if you decide to pay that premium for that basket of goods. This is going to be great because it's going to incentivize people to maximize the utility of the goods that they buy while staying within their budget and using all of their budget at the same time. And it's going to promote a frictionless shopping experience where you're not going to have to think twice when you go on the app and choose every single product individually. Next slide.
So then that was the app experience. Now we move on to the in-store experience, which is actually the root of Co-op. So when we consider the in-store experience, we know that people that have the app already have the scan and pay. But what about the people that don't have the app? We propose the find, collect, and order system, in which people that are inside the Co-op supermarket find the products that they like, they collect them and put them inside of their baskets, and once they have finished, they go to the delivery counter and they tell the cashier their information and in how much time they want their products to reach their home. So they give this information and they basically leave hands-free, knowing that the products are going to reach their home in the time that they've already set. So this induces time-efficient shopping because people don't have to do long lines waiting for products to be scanned to reach the cashier. And also, they don't have to worry about going back home and taking their products. This also creates a more seamless buying experience, and it increases busy customers, which tend to be young consumers and young households. And this increases more spontaneous shopping because if you just remember that you have to buy something from the store but don't have time to go back home because you're on your way to work, you can just stop at a Co-op store, you buy, and then you continue on your way to work. Next slide, please. So we know that this can lead to large purchases and small purchases. For large purchases, we propose to people to be able to tell if they want the delivery that same day, the next day, or in the following days to reach their house. While small purchases should be able to reach your house in the same day and even in time limits of in less than an hour. So in order to do this, we propose eco-friendly vehicles that should be bicycles and eco-friendly cars. And this can be a marketing opportunity because there are bicycles around the city with the Co-op logo. A lot of people are going to see it and are going to want to buy Co-op. Next slide, please. So we know that this can lead to costs. For example, buying bikes and introducing eco-friendly vehicles can lead up to 50 million Danish crowns, while hiring more distributors and cyclers can be 300 million. So we know that we can mitigate this by having associations with eco-friendly vehicles as is IEV distribution that are eco-friendly bikes, and Garia utility, which are vehicles that emit 0% CO2 emissions. And we propose to counter this also with delivery fees of a minimum of 15 Danish crown for small purchases and 35 Danish crowns for large purchases. We also want to maximize utility by hiring experienced professionals. Next.
Thank you very much, Hannah. So let's now have a look at the implementation plan. So for each of the ideas, we have divided these ideas into 4 different subphases. So phase 1 would be kind of a market research and to hire the professionals that would be needed to implement these ideas. Phase 2 would consist in some beta testing and trials to see if the ideas actually work in the market. Phase 3 is the actual implementation, which is the graph shown in gray. And phase 4 would be to collect the data for some improvement purposes. Next slide, please. So let's now have a look at the impact in 5 years, by 2026. Our ideas, we believe, that could increase the revenues of Co-op in the online market that would go from 500 million to 2.5 billion revenues by 2026. Could also increase our share in the discount market, becoming the second largest player in 5 years. Of course, it will grow our customer base in the young consumer sector, with 75,000 new customers that will bring 950 million Danish crowns in extra revenues. This, by the way, is some numbers taken from a study made by the Food Industry Association or the Marshall School of Business in the US. And all of this idea could be implemented with a small increase in costs of, as Anna explained before, 50 million in the acquisition of the new vehicles and 300 million in the extra salaries that would have to pay for the distributors. Next slide, please. So if we add up all these ideas to the revenues that we have right now, we have estimated that in 5 years we could reach 43 billion revenues. This would be a 36.4% market share, which is 4% more than we have right now. One Co-op will be the leader in the market. A 13.5 growth rate in 5 years, which exceeds the 5% that was asked, with a 2% compound annual growth rate. Next slide, please. So we have also studied some of the risks that are in our idea. A graph that showed an impact of the ideas. If we had to say the two most important would be number 2 and number 3, the risk of cannibalization in the for the online business, and what happens if routes are not optimized. So as for time constraints, if we want to discuss them further, we can discuss them in the Q&A. Next slide, please.
Well, overall, we've seen that we want our strategy for Co-op to have an in-app and an in-store experience approach. Our in-app approach wants to gamify food waste. It wants to create a Coop community in the long term and also to enable smart shopping. While our in-store experience wants to have a collect and order system and also an enhanced home delivery. With this, we expect to increase growth by 13.5% in the next 5 years, instead of just reaching the limit of a 5%. We hope you like it and are open to any type of questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Me6 Consulting. Also 15 minutes sharp. Jury, you know the drill. Take it away, 10-minute Q&A, and we'll start with a question from Tommy Ahlers.
Thanks, guys, for a fantastic presentation. It was very creative, and I love the fact that you know, Coop asked for a 5% increase and you give them 13%. Well done, you know, no limits. But in connection to that, you know, how does profitability look like if you have to grow that massive over the next 5 years? Because this look like could potentially be a low margin segment, especially Gen Z, and some high cost initiatives you're talking about. So do they take a big hit on profitability, Coop, when implementing this plan? And if they do so, do you think it's strategically the right decision for them to take that hit because they should invest in capturing this segment for the future? Thanks.
Javier, you can answer.
Yeah, so as we've shown during our presentations, our extra costs would be 350 million, 300 coming from the new distributors and 50 million coming from the new vehicles. The extra revenues would be, so we believe that the profitability wouldn't be that much hurt because of all of the extra revenues that we wouldn't be having. I don't know if I answer your question enough.
Yes, you can follow up, Alexander.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to add, we do think profitability wouldn't be hurt as bad because we are proposing to add fees to make up for the big fixed costs in the beginning for the eco-friendly vehicles and the transportation. But while it's true, in the worst case scenario, to mitigate the risk, we do think it is justified for any big investment, even though we do believe that it's going to be made up by the fees. But what's the most important right now is capturing market share right now, whether it be in e-commerce or in other innovative products like home delivery, because e-commerce is growing very fast, and unfortunately we weren't the first mover. So Coop needs to really make big strides in order to catch up, to have a catch-up effect.
Thank you, Alexander. Christian, next question.
Yeah, thank you, and good job. One question with regards to the in-app experience and the scanning of the products. When looking at your target audiences, they either have little time or prefer not to be in the store. So any thoughts on how to actually get them to use this kind of scanning capabilities, or could there be other ways of mobilizing this solution?
Juan? Yeah, you can answer.
Yes, so actually, as customers are already scanning products when they buy, because there's a function with which you can scan products and then pay for them later without having to wait in lines. The app could save everything you bought, and then with that tell you, hey, this lettuce is gonna expire in 3 days. Maybe you can use this and make this salad. I don't know. And maybe they can also recommend later to buy lettuce again, or maybe this or that dressing, and yeah.
Thank you. Javier, you can follow up.
Yeah, so the whole idea of the FCO, the Find, Collect, and Order, is especially that customers don't have to wait in lines because they don't have much time. So what they do is just go to the store, put their things they want to buy in the basket, and they just leave it on one counter. And this the person will be in the counter will just scan everything and make the pay and do everything for the customer. So the customer just leaves the basket over there and goes to work, goes home, or whatever. So this time that they spend online is something that customer. So that's why we want to implement the FCO.
Thank you, Alexander. You can follow up.
I just want to circle back to what Juan said. So yeah, what he was trying to say basically was that Coop members are already scanning apps as it is, but in order to gain more popularity, we think that the eliminating food waste feature app and integrating your entire life, basically your meal planning, your meal prep, is going to be just an extra motivation for the customers that already scan apps to do it more so.
Katrina, the next question.
It's another question to this non-app user, so the in-store, the FCO model. It's really around the practical implementation of this. So I'm just thinking, I go to the store, I mix a basket full of stuff that doesn't go on fridge and then really cold freezer stuff. I go and then I deliver it for delivery for the next day. It would need to be put back on cold. How would that in practical terms, and also regarding CO2 footprint implications of that? So I go in my car, go to the supermarket, drive back, and then another car has to go and pick up my groceries and drive that to my house. So I'm really thinking really low practical implementation of this. Would it ever fly?
Anna, you can answer that question.
First, with regard to the logistics, it would require a different logistic for the type of products that are for the following days instead of for the same day. But we do propose that there is a type of storage in which these products are maintained, because one of the things that we want from the in-store experience is that you actually choose the product instead of just buying online. So if I bought this tomato, it's because I wanted this one and not that one. So there would need to be a type of storage inside of the co-ops to develop this. But with respect to the CO2 emissions, that would only depend on the customer that is actually going to the co-op store, how much they emit, because our solution is for eco-friendly vehicles to be the ones that are transporting it. That's why we propose bicycles or even the Elevate system of cars, which emit 0% CO2 emissions. So on behalf of co-op, there would be no emissions.
Thank you, Anna. I think we'll jump to the next question from Kren, the CEO of Coop.
Yeah, thanks, guys. On the tomato example, a feasibility question. How will the app know that there are 5 days left on these tomatoes? And how will it know if I've eaten it or not when it suggests me to make a salad?
Yes, Anna, you can follow up or answer that question.
Well, a product, it's easier to know with meat, for example, but with tomatoes, once suppliers give it to co-op, you should fairly know for how much time you can keep that in store, because after that limited time, it's going to be expired. So it's a knowledge that the store and co-op should already have how much time they can keep product within the store. So we propose that the expiration date be the date that until which co-op would have it inside the store. On the other hand, the app wouldn't be able to know exactly if you consumed your product or not. That's why you would receive a notification and tell you, have you consumed your tomatoes? If not, we propose these recipes. So we know that notifications can be kind of boring, so you could turn them off, but the idea is that the app follows up on you.
And a question from Hans-Henrik Beck.
Yeah, I think super cool intro, Anna, and super cool solutions. I think perhaps I have 5 kids. Being on a budget and going cheap doesn't always go hand in hand. And I think a very critical part of being in retail is actually also making sure people are trading up and not only trading down. How do you envision this will make people trade up in the right categories and not only go for cheap and low?
Alexander?
Yeah, well, our vision for Coop stores is, especially within the in-app experience, is to gamify the process. That's why we have Coop Community. If the marketing research shows us that it's going to be popular, then it's really going to create an ecosystem of Coop members. So 30% of the Danish population already has the Coop app. If we just create a community and a way to integrate those members everyone's going to motivate each other to do better. For example, you upload photos of the recipe that you just made that's healthy, but also eliminating food waste. You also get we also gamify the process by giving you points. So if I say, hey Anna, come on, you're slacking, you only have 1,000 points, it incentivizes the other person, and you can see each other within the app how many points other members have, and you can add like your friends, for example. So it's basically the whole gamification is taking advantage of the fact that people are intrinsically competitive.
Anna, do we want to follow up?
Yeah, can I?
Yeah.
A follow up? A very important thing that you said is that you want people to level up and never level down. So people that have a very constrained budget can, for example, plan for monthly, I'm going to spend 1,000 Danish crowns this month. But if you just start spending and spending at the end of the month, you may have less money than what you thought you were actually going to have. So that's one of the things, the good things of smart shopping is that you set a limited budget from the beginning of the month, and it lets you choose the products that you want, and it planifies for you. These are the baskets of good that your budget can afford within your preferences. So that's a good way to level up within a budget as well.
Yeah, and Juan, do you have a quick note?
I don't think I can make it.
3, 2.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much to the Me6 Consulting for answering the questions. Thank you. And also a very big thank you to all 3 teams that has now presented their solutions. I'm very excited and impressed as a consumer and not as a business mind. Yeah, now the jury will go to their voting room and they will make a tough decision. And they will tell us later on who are the best presenter, or who is, it's only one person, and who the winning team is. They'll be back in 30 minutes. And in the meantime, you will get a chance to get to know the organizing committee behind the CBS Case Competition a little better. So stay tuned. We will be back after a short reset live here from the studio with the steering committee of this year's Case Competition. And again, the social media, I mentioned it one more time. Make a few stories, say where you are. Remember to tag CBS Case Competition. And maybe you'll get featured on their story. I'll see you guys in a bit.
that the winner this year's Copenhagen Business School.
Congratulations, you won the award for Best Presenter. How are you going to celebrate this?
I haven't even thought about it because I'm still in so much shock that I actually won. I'm really happy that my team did really well, so I think we're all going to go out, celebrate tonight, have a couple of drinks, and just like see where the night leads us.
First off, guys, congratulations, you won.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I think it's absolutely incredible experience to win this, also because it's the first time in 16, 17 years that CBS has actually won. And we know a lot of the people from last year that came in second. And I mean, the pressure was on, at least for us.
We haven't seen or heard about anything from anyone else. We had absolutely no clue where we were.
And we were told before that this competition is just like CBS just cannot win. And I think we just went in there like we want to do our best, but we also know that it's so difficult when you're the home team. And so I think we're quite surprised.
We didn't expect it at all.
You had no clue.
No.
The best way to win it.
Yeah.
No. Congratulations, guys. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Today was quite unbelievable. I think it's a combination of so much work from the organizing committee, and to see just how great a success it was unbelievable. I mean, the teams in the finals were unbelievable. They did such good work on the case, and it was so complex, so it was good to see them really, get out there on the edge of it. I think, being done with all of this work now, it's almost surreal, and I'm hoping that we can celebrate tonight with a grand party.
How are you going to celebrate this?
So we're all taking a trip down to Langlinje Pavillon. We're going to be 140 people, just having a big gala party, celebrating that once again CBS Case Competition has managed to pull off a year with lifetime experiences.
Understanding how different people think about the very problems that are facing every single country across the world. I think that's very, very interesting, and I think that's one of the best things about this competition.
It makes me have hope in the world because at least there are global organizations that actually want to be a part of it.
This is definitely the biggest scale case competition I've ever participated in.
At CBS Case Competition, we create experiences that inspire you, that challenge you, that shape you, and that you'll never forget. We facilitate training days on our journey to fast-track personal growth.
CBS Case Competition attracts talented, motivated, and energetic young people. If we can help them become even better at problem solving, then we are more than happy to do that.
We host panel debates to make sure that the most current and most important subjects are on the agenda for the students.
I've no doubt that the CBS Case Competition can actually make a real difference and real impact out there.
Throughout the event, our partners have the opportunity to directly engage with CBS's more than 18,000 students. CBS Case Competition is a non-profit organization, solemnly run by students, using their free time to facilitate extraordinary opportunities for others.
What you can feel is really there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of passion put in from the students that are organizing it.
What the organizing committee at the case competition is doing, in many ways tops what I see from the most professional, well-paid organizations out there. It was just very, very impressive.
3,600 students from all corners of the world participate in our global case competition, an open invitational contest where the best teams get to compete in Copenhagen. Our vision is to pave the road for the leaders of tomorrow, We want to build a creative playground for inspiration and development that will nurture today's talent into becoming the leaders of tomorrow. Therefore, we are proud to host one of the world's leading case competitions, inviting the absolute elite schools to solve real issues for real businesses.
Everyone is really submerged in this ecosystem to really translate ideas and really spark business thinking to the next level.
I think it's really nice that this country and specifically this case competition has really focused on how we can actually make the world a better place.
I love the fact that we're actually taking up themes that are very relevant for big corporates as well as for students. So that means sustainability, digitalization of companies.
Basically, we want to encourage big ideas. We want to shape the leaders of tomorrow. We want them to challenge the status quo. I think that's really the essence of what we do in CBS Case Competition.
There are so many very special moments, so many very special events. So this is for sure an event of a lifetime for me.
Welcome back to all of you behind the screens. Even though you're not with us physically, we hope that you're able to feel the extraordinary energy that all teams have put into their presentations. Again, let's just remind you that these presentations have been made under extreme time pressure and that the semifinals were conducted only a few hours ago. This should all underline the immense achievement it is for all the finalists to present their presentations in this manner. My name is Silas, and I'm here with my partner Christine to entertain you during the break. This will be until our fantastic jury has voted on who will be crowned the winner of Invitational 2021.
That's right. We are the steering committee of this year's CBS Case Competition and have thus been the dynamic duo who's been in charge of setting the strategic framework and navigating the entire organization through a year of unprecedented challenges. And what a ride it has been.
Today, our job is a little different. This evening, we will take you through our history and our CCC or CBS Case Competition legacy, for you to get an understanding of our past and thus our present. Some of you might know this already, but this year we are celebrating our 20-year anniversary. To celebrate a 20-year anniversary as a student organization is something extraordinary. What this means is that every year since 2001, a group of visionary and purpose-driven students have taken on the task of not only facilitating yet another year of case competitions, but to innovate and develop the organization and its overall value proposition. The CCC community and its legacy is definitely something special, and so have every year been since 2001.
And for you to fully understand the scope of the organization and its development, we have chosen a few important milestones from the past 20 years. So in 2001, a group of purpose-driven students arrived back at CBS after having participated in their first ever case competition in the US. They felt exhilarated, and not just because of the trip across the Atlantic, but because of the overall case competition experience. This experience and the feelings that it had generated proved to be the starting point of CBS Case Competition. And no later than 2002, the same group of students managed to facilitate the first ever case competition hosted at CBS, what is now known as the Invitational Case Competition.
During the following years, the concept was further developed and fine-tuned, and CBS Case Competition quickly built an impressive reputation around the global case community. However, this impressive setup also gained quite a lot of attention internally at CBS, as many students outside of this rather exclusive case community expressed a desire to put their skills to the test and challenge the established case teams. To comply with this demand, the organizing committee at the time saw the opportunity to create a new and more inclusive format, where all students at CBS could participate in case solving. In 2008, this resulted in a new sister competition, Beat the Elite, which was later renamed to Open. In Open, all students could try the case format and the exact same case as the experienced case teams from the invitational competition did.
Following a longer maturity period for the organization since its establishment in 2001, the first board of directors were appointed in 2010. Up until today, the board has consisted of an exclusive group of individuals who have all been previously affiliated with CCC, but are now done with their degrees and are on to their professional careers. With the introduction of the board of directors, a mission was also set for the organization. They wanted to create lifetime experiences, and that is still what we try to strive towards today.
In 2016, Business Battlefield, yet another sister event to the already established open and invitational competitions, was founded. Due to CBS Case Competition's long reputation of creating successful case competitions, the organization was given funding to develop an event that could mark Copenhagen Business School's 150-year anniversary. Today, Business Battlefield has grown into becoming a self-supporting organization that each year plans and executes an intensive 3-day leadership competition where students learn and apply their knowledge in real-life settings.
In 2019, our global case competition was introduced for the first time. Global came from a vision to break down the geographical borders represented by the open case competition and allow students from around the world to try out case solving. The new and inclusive format quickly gained a lot of attention, and last week we hosted the 3rd edition, which again proved to be one of the largest student-run case competitions in the world, with more than 2,500 students from more than 90 different nationalities.
And this brings us back to the present and this year's CBS Case Competition. We know that this walkthrough has provided you with a lot of information, but we still hope that it has given you some type of grasp of the development that the organization has undertaken, alongside the more than 500 organizing committee members before Christine and I, and this year's organizing committee, who have all participated in developing CBS Case Competition into what it is today.
And we're certainly humbled to be standing in front of you today, virtually of course, but nevertheless to be part of this great legacy. This year has forced us to act upon several scenario changes, and we're extremely proud of being able to facilitate yet another year of lifetime experiences while adding to the great legacy of CBS Case Competition.
We certainly do not think that any of our founders would have been able to even imagine that the seeds they planted in 2001 would have grown into this impressive setup 20 years later. So, a massive shout out to everyone in the organizing committee, not only this year, but the previous 19 years as well, alongside all of our partner companies and supporting foundations throughout the years for believing in our cause and supporting our mission. Together, we have challenged the status quo and paved the road for the leaders of tomorrow.
And on a final note, to all of you watching from home, we hope that you've enjoyed the show so far and are as excited as we are to hear the jury's verdict and celebrate the winners of this year's invitational case competition. By tuning in, you have also become a part of the CCC legacy. So to all of you watching, all of those in our alumni network, and all of our partners throughout the years, thank you for joining our mission to create lifetime experiences.
It has been extraordinary because it has been a whole different year than what Silas and I expected when we started planning how it was going to look like in March 2020.
We have been able to actually make our setup come to life in an extremely challenging year.
So we thought we had this clear picture of how the competition and how we were going to manage the OC and how we were going to interact, and all these things that we dreamt of, we had to reimagine.
While we set the strategic direction, we of course rely on some amazing people around us to make this come alive. And this is the organizing committee.
The organizing committee in CCC is just packed with energy, and it's just a thrill to be a part of it.
It has been an amazing experience, and I think actually almost greater than I thought it would be.
Yeah, we've come together and then said, okay, how are we going to make it work? Because we don't have another choice. We can't fall back if it's 300 Zoom calls a day or 21 phone calls a day, we have to make it work. And that's how it is done.
Being surrounded by creative thinking is very refreshing because you don't have the same ideas being thrown at you all the time. I think the word used to is outdated, and I really think that we have been forced to think outside the box in all teams.
Well, it was basically my first 34 friends in Denmark.
The greatest challenge has been to convince our stakeholders that this pandemic may not only be an obstacle, but actually also an opportunity to show that you can adapt to changes and take the lead in this new virtual format.
I would say that we've been great at overcoming this challenge by hosting virtual events, social events online.
We've been trying to really call each other frequently, set up these larger Zoom meetings such that we know that the teams that are dependent on each other also speak to each other.
We're building on a 20-year-long history of creating lifetime experiences, and we have an amazing team this year, so I have no doubt that we will knock this one out of the park.
And having to sign the partners was definitely the best accomplishment for our team.
And I think it was really to make the impossible possible and really turn Week 9 into a virtual setting as well.
Our greatest accomplishment was definitely finishing both cases and actually finishing with a product that we're very proud of.
We really worked hard on reinventing the entire thing because of this COVID situation, which meant that, companies that we're working with and funds and everything, they have changed their entire processes, which meant that we also had to change all of our material. It's been such a long ride, but we managed to get through it.
We're kind of like family, we're kind of like friends. I think the culture is quite unique because it's a community of people where they're clever-minded but also have a can-do positive attitude and always up for a good laugh.
It's like a playground. Everybody gets to put their own touch on CCC.
We celebrate each other's wins as our own.
Regardless of the challenges we meet, everyone is committed to deliver quality work.
I would describe it as notable,
innovative, instructive, resilient.
Badass.
I would say ingenious.
Adaptive,
entrepreneurial, rethinking,
engaging,
united,
collaboration,
community,
optimistic,
virtual.
I would describe it as memorable,
unforgettable,
professional, fun,
amazing,
empowering,
remarkable,
rewarding,
energetic,
inspiring,
unique,
ambitious,
passionate, exemplary.
How would you describe CCC 2021 in one word?
Extraordinary.
Welcome back to the studio. I've joined Christine and Silas for a tiny little cute Q&A. And I love how in the video we just saw you ask, describe CCC in one word. And then you get 50 words right away. But another thing that keeps being mentioned is the difficulties and the struggles and all that. And we've asked on Instagram what questions you'd like to have you guys answer. And again, we've talked a lot about all the difficulties and challenges, but a person wants to know what has been the best part of organizing CCC 2021?
I think for me personally, and I think Christine can agree, it's being a part of CCC is more than just creating this amazing setup. It's, as one of our members described it in the video, it was his first 34 friends in Denmark. For me, that's really something that makes me happy and also extremely proud to be a part of the organization, that we're able to not only build a creative playground for people, but make it a fun experience and something that people want to engage in other than just for putting something on their resume.
Yeah, a community.
It is very much like a community, and we really hope that we will continue being friends after CCC is over. It's our final day today, and it's just it's 33 amazing people that we have met and become friends with the past year.
Yeah, and one person also wants to know how to become a part of the organizing committee, because it sounds like fun.
It is fun.
It is
definitely.
fun. The next step for the organization is to elect a new steering committee. It will unfortunately be the two of us, but during the next couple of months, the steering committee will be elected, and they're in charge of recruiting the next organizing committee. So look out at our SoMe channels, and you will see some signs there of recruitment.
Yeah. And it's not just all fun and games to be part of CCC. One person also wants to know, how did you manage to sign the two huge companies, IKEA and Coop?
I think
do you just slide into the DM and hope for the best? Like, what do you do?
It's not completely untrue, no. Actually, in order to answer that question, we should have our case developers who presented earlier on stage, because they are the ones that have really worked something off in order to sign these two companies.
Yeah.
What they do and what they have done tirelessly is to target out interesting companies, and this year also something that should be a bit more relatable for students. Previous years we've had business-to-business companies, which has been extremely interesting, but we wanted to make it more close to people's hearts in order for people to really understand and deliver some value in their case solutions.
Yeah, close to heart. Yeah, one person also wants to know, how did you become steering of CBS Case Competition?
Well, both Silas and I were part of the organizing committee last year. Silas was head of the partners team, and I was a team host. And we both were asked by the previous steering committee if we wanted to, if this was something for us, and both of us was a bit unsure. But then we were both like, okay, well, let's apply and see what happens. And then we went for this like more or less official conversation with our Line, from our board of directors, our chairwoman. And then I think it was a Monday afternoon in March, she called me up and was like, hey, is this something for you? And I was like, wow, yeah, it's definitely something for me. And then later on, I got to know that it was Silas who was my co-half or co-steer.
Yeah.
Partner.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but what I hear you saying is like putting yourself out there, and
Yes.
the same with just being part of CCC. Put yourself out there. Say, I want to be a part of this.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Another person wants to know, what challenges have you faced being the first steering committee arranging a 100% virtual case? You're making history. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, it is more.
I guess we are. Yeah. We also talked about.
And hopefully you'll be the only ones.
Hopefully,
doing a virtual
We're crossing
case.
our fingers for that.
I mean, we just discussed whether this would be precedence for previous or future years to develop something, a TV format as well, hopefully with an audience. We don't know, but of course, normally the setup is facilitated in front of a live audience of more than 500 people, which is really, really amazing. For us to be here today and see it come alive is extraordinary, but also we would have loved to have all of the rest of the organizing committee with us to see it come alive, because everybody has put in so much work. So, yeah, I guess we are making history, but again, each year when there's a new steering committee elected, there's kind of this internal competition, because everybody wants to beat the previous years. And that's probably also why the organization is so innovative and has been able to develop in such manner. That's really because people are putting in that extra effort to beat the previous steering committee.
Yeah, and then again, everybody wants to make history, and you are doing that. You will be remembered just for being this, I think. Okay, another person wants to know, what do you think the teams have struggled with the most when solving the case? So maybe not the whole virtual thing, but also just this particular case?
I think it has been. I think the two cases in some ways are similar, but I think, at least for me, when reading through the cases, I think we have all heard so much about sustainability by now. A lot of companies are doing a lot sustainability-wise, both Coop and IKEA. For me, it was really to try how you were to innovate from a sustainability perspective and bring something new to the table, because that's why the case companies want to engage with us, and that's what they want to see in the solutions. They want to see something new and something innovative from the students. And I'm really, really impressed to see what the students have been able to come up with, again, in such a short time period.
Yeah, and this sustainability thing, I guess it's not a new thing. I guess it's been around for years in businesses. How can we be more sustainable? So do you think that has been the most challenging part this year of working with IKEA and Coop?
I think definitely when you talk about sustainability, it's coming up with these concrete ideas, because for many sustainability is still like a very fluffy word. And in order for students to actually concretize it, they must know something about sustainability and all the things they need to put together in order to make a sustainable solution, but also to make it economically feasible. And that's definitely a challenge.
How did you think they succeeded, the 3 teams?
They did really well. I think it was...
Well, you're not the jury.
We're not the jury, but all of them did really well today.
Yeah, I'm so impressed. Also, just the presenting thing, I guess that's a talent as well that you have to nurture. Not just being good behind the computer, but also in front of the screen when you have to sell your idea.
Yeah.
Now, describe the culture in the organizing committee a person wants you to do.
Oh, the culture in the organizing committee is very open, but it's also very, how do you say, you're very serious, but because we are very, we're very ambitious on all of our behalves, but we are also a family, so we also have a lot of fun, and I think that's what characterizes the culture in the organization.
Yeah, you look like a family.
Yeah,
you actually
we are
very
family.
much alike.
Wearing the same navy blue suit.
Yeah, exactly. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
A beautiful family portrait we have here
think so
behind
as well.
us. A person wants to know, what does CBS Case Competition give to the students who participate? Do they get money or...
No, they don't get money. They get, first of all, a learning experience. And it varies from the 2 case competitions. But especially for the invitational case competition, it is more the pride of being able to participate, because they are able to normally travel around the world with their case teams.
Yeah.
And normally for the invitational competition, as we mentioned briefly in our short speech earlier, there is this whole case community. So by participating in CBS Case Competition and potentially winning the competition, you actually qualify for what's called Champions Trophy, which is where the best case teams from all around the world are gathered, where you could say the World Cup of case solving. So being crowned the world's best case team is quite an achievement, and you can qualify by participating in CBS Case Competition.
That's pretty cool to be a part of the World Cup.
Yeah.
What's the prize for the winners? An Instagram person asked.
Yeah. Well, again, for invitational, there is no actual prize this year. It's a trophy, of course, that each team will have for a year until the next competition. And then again, just the pride. And I think participating in case competitions in general, it being CBS Case Competition or something else, is really something that can elevate your career and really kick in some doors, because you are on a creative playground and you learn so much. And it's also something that future employers look at when they are interviewing people, because they know that if you have taken part in this learning experience, then you know how to present, and you probably also know how to build up a story throughout a slide deck and some elemental things that are quite essential once you go out into the corporate life.
Yeah, sounds like a good prize. A lot of experience and something to put on your LinkedIn Park profile. Pun to the team name earlier.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the interesting talk, Christine and Silas. We are now where we are ready to announce some winners for tonight. I'm so excited. Are you guys excited?
Extremely
excited.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that the 3 teams have given the judges, the jury, a hard time coming up to a solution in the voting room. And before we get to the announcement of the winners, we'll take a short 5-minute break.
My name is Nikolai, and I'm a business graduate. My dream has always been to become CEO. I have no idea if I'll get there, but I believe that the graduate program is the perfect foundation to pursue that dream. What I like about the program is definitely the rotations. The fact that you get to experience the company from different angles and get to work with a lot of people is such a unique opportunity. you really sense that everybody is passionate about the green transformation. I did strategy in my first rotation. Now I'm doing something more financially related, and I'll probably do even more of that in my last rotation. My greatest experience has been working on a project where we knew nothing when we started, and 9 months later, we ended up presenting to the CEO in the investment committee. That whole process has been such a great experience that I've learned a lot from.
Imagine your future as a graduate in Ørsted. The best first step you'll ever take.
Welcome back to the CBS Case Competition Invitational Finals 2021. The jury is back. They've returned from the voting room and we are ready to present the best presenter of tonight and also the winning team of this year. And welcome back to all three teams we have with us here on our screens. Hi guys. Put your hands up if you're ready for the announcements. Beautiful. First things first, the time has come to announce the best presenter for tonight. And for that, I will pass the word to you, Hans-Henrik Beck from Bain & Company.
Yeah, but thank you for having us. And what a fantastic day and what a fantastic experience. I would say it's the fourth time I'm here. And every year the level goes up, not only with regards to the teams competing, but also with regards to the organizing committee. So I think that's a fantastic setting and an honor to be here. One thing is, of course, to crack the case. Another thing is to communicate it. It's not only about communicating the prepared part. It's also about doing the Q&A. And perhaps the most complicated part is getting off to a good start. And in the voting committee and in the jury, we had actually a long debate about who came out on top. And with a lot of candidates, we ended with Ana Valencia from the Spanish team coming out on top.
Congratulations, Ana.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anna,
the best presenter, and you have a gift for her?
Yeah, we have a fantastic gift.
This is a... yeah. Do you want to present the book?
No, you can do it.
It's a hyggebog. It's a Danish term about having a cozy time, and Hans-Henrik has signed it with his autograph.
Increasing the value enormously.
Exactly, and we'll make sure it gets sanitized and COVID clean. We are, of course, but we'll make sure it gets to you in Spain. And congratulations again. How are you feeling?
Very good, thank you. It's nice to be considered and that you thought that we did a good job communicating. So thank you.
Yeah, normally when people get a prize, they're numb for words. But as the best presenter, of course, you have some words to put on that. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
And now, yes, you can sit down and I will invite Kren Østergaard Nielsen to the front because now it's getting very exciting. We are ready to announce the winning team of this year's case competition. Yes, and you have taken the trophy and are ready to present that. Kren Østergaard Nielsen, take it away.
First of all, I just want to thank all three teams, and it's been a close call. And I would say that all three teams have concretely inspired me and Signe to take stuff home that we can use in our business. So I've learned that you don't have to call Hans-Henrik to get good consulting. We can also get that here, so highly appreciated. But it was a close call, and we had intense discussions, and not conflicting, but different views. But after a long discussion, we came to the conclusion that the third prize goes to Team LinkedIn Park.
Congratulations with the third place to LinkedIn Park from Aarhus University.
Correct.
How do you feel about being here today and tonight and hearing all these ideas for your business?
I'm very grateful that that all these teams have connected so well with Co-op and see what we also see and strive to be. So it's humbling, but also very exciting to be here.
Yeah, you really are man of the hour, but not any longer.
No.
Because now we are ready to present the winning team of this year's Case Competition Invitational Final. All the music, it's getting tense.
Yes, and the defining criteria that finally made the conclusion clear for all of us was a very clear and engaging presentation. It was based on clear customer needs. It was pragmatic, was building on the strengths we have in CSR and in technology, and an innovative solution that inspired something concretely that we will see in the Co-op app in the future, I'm sure. So the winner is Falcon Consulting.
Congratulations! Congratulations, Falcon Consulting. How are you feeling right now?
Thank you. Overwhelmed, but very, very happy to be here and to win, first of all.
Oh, congratulations. And also congratulations to Meeseeks from Spain. Why did you choose Falcon as the winner?
it was clear that I could see this, and we could see this actually benefiting the Danish consumer, especially the omni-channel, that we could help and guide customers, not what we want them to do, but help them achieve the goals that they have in store using our app and using our sustainability strengths. So yeah, that was the main argument.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Team Falcon again, and thank you very much to you, Kren, for being here with your company representing, and I hope that you had a fun time. I think you did.
It was hygge.
It was very hygge, and you are very humble and everything. Great. Thank you. And thank you to all the jury members here tonight for being sharp and good and helping all three teams answer their questions and presenting their ideas in a good way. Now there will be given some gifts to the jury, and normally that will be drinkable gifts, I know, but this year the organizing committee have chosen to give some charity gifts to you guys. How do you feel about that?
Great.
Great. Lovely to hear that. The CBS Case Competition 2021 has come to an end. And if you want to know more about the CBS Case Competition, remember to follow us on your preferred social media. Thank you for tuning in, for viewing, and for behaving behind the screens, I guess. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next year. Bye.